Okay, it's a new day, and I think it's perfect timing to proudly present you another ongoing project. Thank you, garbage machine. That's the right moment to be here. It's this vending machine. It's vending machine number 3. We've made a few previously on my channel. Apparently, I like those. Even though I don't like recreate the stuff that I already made, maybe that's also the reason why this thing has been untouched for more than a year. It doesn't even look like it's gonna be finished soon, but it's the special one for me. Because I went as far as measuring the real one when I was in Japan, I was that crazy lady who bought measuring tape on a flea market and just measured all the objects on the street that appeared like an interesting objects to me, so I can later on scale down the measurements and recreate them as miniatures. Even though one time it was a fun moment when I measured something inside the Laundry Republic room, and apparently the owner looked at us through the cameras, and I was measuring the machine and my husband was filming me, and then the owner was like opening the door and like, what are you doing, guys? It was very confusing, and right now I'm sharing this because I think it's a funny moment to giggle about, but at that moment it was a little bit embarrassing because I couldn't explain myself. I know that locals don't really speak English that much, and I was like with a measuring tape looking at him like, okay, oopsie. Sumimasen. Anyways, back to the machine. I actually did all the heavy lifting stuff already. Like, I scaled down all the measurements to figure out how they fit together in the smaller scale and glue down the basics. And then I just stopped because I guess I lost my spark. And now when I think about it, it's probably because of the bottles inside of the vending machine, because they were my least favorite to create in this whole miniature. I know how to make them. I did them previously, I just don't like the process of making them. I saved a bunch of the covers, peel covers from my cat's medicine. I've tried to use them as a base for bottles, but I didn't like that. I also used the silicone molds with epoxy resin, then you add the colored pigment inside and cure with a UV lamp and so on and so forth. But the end result is still not meeting my standards, and it's too much work to have something that I don't really see as cool final result. And maybe that's why I stopped. And right now I'm thinking maybe instead of forcing myself to push through that and just using all of my willpower to do that anyway, we can move it to a little bit different direction, the one that I know that I will enjoy, because again, I like trying things, duh. So maybe we are ready for a little experiment for a change. Have you ever heard of the vacuum former? Oh my god, my cat just sneezed. Bless you. Oh my god, how did you scared me? How do you even sneeze laying like this? You're my cutie patootie. Ooh, so cute, so fluffy. Have you ever heard of the vacuum former? The idea behind it is pretty simple. You just take a plastic. I saved a bunch of these plastic sheets from the package that's supposed to be thrown away. So you just take it and heat it up until it's a bit soft and droopy, and then you put it on top of whatever shape you want and powerfully suck the air from the underneath. So the plastic will wrap itself around this thing and basically taking its form and staying like that. I actually tried to build my own a few times, and that's because I saw that technique a lot at Hanabira's Kobo videos. If you didn't know who this is, I keep talking about this person, and I will link their social media down below if you're curious, but it's basically my miniature idol, I guess. And also I have another project in progress. It's me recreating my favorite Hanabira's Kobo diorama, but for now I'm gonna keep it to myself because I want to be a little bit shameless and create a separate video just about it in foreseeable future. So if it sounds like something you're gonna be interested in, please stay tuned. But anyways, as for vacuum formers that I've made myself, they kind of worked pretty much for the majority of times that I've tried to use them. I just didn't use it that much. And one night I was laying at this bed behind me, just scrolling through my phone, and you know, this very rational, very thought through decisions at 2 a.m. I just bought a professional dentist vacuum former. Of course I did. And as you can see, I never ever used it. I just turned it on once just to see if it works, and that was it. So right now, let's try it in action. This one versus the one that I've made myself, just to see if it will simplify the process of creating bottles for me, and do I really need that at all, or should I resell it or something? In this machine, they have these metal balls on the bottom of the machine, and I already think that it wouldn't work with these little things for bottles that I have, these shapes, but we will check this out. So it has this thing that moves up and down. You put the sheet of plastic right here, secure it, and then heat it up with the heating element on top. Intensely push it on the shape that you want the plastic to wrap itself around. So let's turn this heater on and wait for a few minutes until it will be heated. I found it on some random local store because it was the cheapest. It even makes some weird noises when it heated up, like the summer rain is falling or something. Can you hear that? Weird. So what exactly my DIY vacuum former consists of? I'm gonna briefly mention it in case you wanna do it yourself as well. But again, please be safe and be very aware about surroundings, and just take safety first, okay? If you're gonna do that at home. So first part is this thick cardboard that I took from my old picture frame. You know, that part that pushes your picture closer to the glass? I cut it out, these two identical pieces with a square hole inside, and you put your sheet of plastic between those parts and secure them. I use these metal paper clips because, again, they are not plastic, they won't be melted, but you can't hold it with your bare hands on top of the hidden elements. Please don't, it's very hot. So I'm using these pliers just to hold it, and the old brush just to, you know, do this kind of business to check out if the droopiness of the plastic is right and the temperature is the right temperature. And the second part is this weird thing that consists of the nozzle of my home portable vacuum cleaner, and it attached to this little lunch box. I cut it out the base of it and glued the piece of this kids kit that I had in my childhood. I don't know about you, probably luckily you don't know what I'm talking about, but in USSR we all had this construction thing, but I was pretty greedy previously, and I've tried to make it as big as I can, and it's a wrong decision because the smaller the surface, the stronger the suction would be and the better results you will get. It's already so hot and so hard to sit next to this thing, but I feel like the most difficult part about this whole DIY version is that you have to be really safe and mindful about each and every step in order to have the result that you want. For example, my vacuum cleaner that I use for second purposes is not strong enough, so I have to not only turn this on, but also activate the boost button so it would have this strong suction that I need. And I have only a few milliseconds between the right temperature of the plastic and all of this hand movements to turn on the vacuum cleaner and to put the plastic on top of the shape and to place it right so it wouldn't be too left or too right. And that takes so much practice, and there was so many plastic wasted. I'm glad that it's kind of recycled version of plastic, but anyways, that requires a lot of persistence. So we just heat it up. It's gonna be a little bit loud, I'm sorry, but that's how it works. But I think it's a pretty good result for a handmade version. Also, you have to be careful not to touch all of the pieces that holds this thing together because this metal is also heated up. So there is a lot of pauses to wait while everything will cool down. But the result is okay, right? It's working. Okay, despite the fact that there is the metal balls on bottom of this and it might not work. I also immediately don't like that I have to use these bigger pieces of plastic sheets. Like, look at this comparing to the DIY version. That's pretty significant difference, but at the same time, I can put like 4 bottles to make a few at the same time. So I don't know, we'll see. So let's secure the plastic and turn on the heater. Also, I want to know when is the right time to place it on the shapes. I still need to like touch. Okay, I think it's ready. Okay. That is the result, and it's not exactly what I wanted. I don't know. Let's try it one more time and compare later. Okay, I just realized how stupid I am and that I can take off these metal balls, and on the bottom of this is actually the same thing that I have in my DIY version, in this metal sheet with holes. And let's try this one more time with transparent plastic. I still don't like that I have to touch the plastic all of the time, because I don't know when is the right time to put it on top of the figures. Okay, that's what we're talking about, right? Right? That's a little bit overheated part right here, but look at this. This is actually pretty good, right? And you know what? And this is a piece of chocolate because it was the packaging from a cake. I'm sorry. Like, look at this closely. The quality is literally the same. Literally the same. Deepness and the form. And I can use the smaller pieces of plastic for my DIY version, and it doesn't take so much space, and I can resell it and take my money back. So I'm gonna say that I will keep my DIY version, and it works better for me. And I don't want to say that this thing is bad, not at all. It's just for a different target audience, and not only for dentists, because I saw that online that some small businesses use it for creating the custom plastic packaging. Like, if you have some small products, you can use it for that purposes and sell massively. But it's not for me, and that's the point. And that's the beauty that I just genuinely adore about this whole creative journey through my life. You don't know until you try it. You can buy the fanciest, most professional thing on the market, and it could be the best thing or the worst thing that you would never want to touch again. And from the other side, could be like some DIY thing that you've made from the things that you have found in your apartment, and it serves you the best way possible. Like, to me, for my little things, miniatures, bottles, my DIY version is the best one. But we had some fun. We've tried it. Now I have my conclusions about it, and probably you do too. So I think this is just a win-win situation in general, right?